solutions for entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Okay, let's get into the meat. What have you found that people do that makes their assets vulnerable?
Well, unfortunately, in most cases, no matter what the income level, almost everything. Let me share this with everyone because one of the #1 things that Greenlight has championed, we didn't create the whole space or science of wealth creation. Neither did Sir Isaac Newton create gravity, right? God did. But he was the first to successfully language it. And so that's what Greenlight's secret sauce is. That's why we excel. We have come up with metaphors and special vocabulary and approaches where we have been able to language it in a format that's digestible and easily executed by ordinary people. So I know there's a lot of superstars in the room. So if ordinary people can experience extraordinary financial trajectories and momentums, then if you're a superstar, then you can expect, quite a bit more. But it was made for ordinary people, entrepreneurs. And we actually have some eclectic solutions for 9-to-5 working folks who are just trying to get relief from the rat race and to run their life as a business.
Now, in terms of your business, your clientele, I know that you have the clients that come in and that you charge and they pay $1,000 an hour. We're not going to talk about them right now.
Right.
What do you have for the $50,000 people that have that? Do you have a program that can help them protect their assets?
Let me back up a little bit because I want to give a follow-on to what are the mistakes that people make to protect their assets. #1 mistake, and this is principles from no personal gain. The #1 mistake I see from people who are not doing the right things to protecting their assets is they are facilitating, they're quarterbacking their financial affairs as human beings. Now that might sound strange, it might sound counterintuitive, but the mega rich, the ultra rich, do not facilitate their affairs as human beings. Let me give you a little bit more. 2 types of people on the planet. So this is what I learned from the rich and the successful. You have living people and you have legal people. And the rich exploit, manipulate, and control legal people to their ultimate financial benefit. When I say legal people, guys, I'm talking about the group of artificial people that includes estates, trusts, LLCs, and corporations are all people like every one of you in this room. Matter of fact, exactly like everyone in this room. They're righted, protected, and privileged under the Constitution of the United States, exactly like you. No difference. They have all the benefits, advantages, and recognitions under the laws of the great state of Florida or any other state in the union, exactly like you. So they are equivalent to you in every way. But here is where the fork in the road happens. As it relates to money, they run circles around us. The wealth creation system puts human beings, that's what I said, at a great and severe disadvantage as it relates to money. So that's where people start. So if you don't start there, then you go down the slippery precipice to not reaching your full financial goals and your full financial potential. So first and foremost, that's the first rule of protecting your assets. What happens when you sue someone rich? What happens when you sue someone rich? Absolutely nothing. Why? Remember the old saying that the rich own nothing but control everything? Now, to me, that made no sense, guys, up until about 15 years ago. How can you own absolutely nothing but control everything? So that's when we put the third part of that brings it all to light. The rich own nothing but control everything through artificial people, legal people. So the legal people own everything. And the rich control the legal people, so they control absolutely everything. Matter of fact, the only trillionaires on the planet are not breathing. They are as part of our Life Revisited Tour Conference and Roadshow, Greenlight goes around the country and gives free discussions and talks. This is probably one of our more premier discussions and talks. Again, thanks to everyone who made this possible here at the Citrus Club. But the main takeaway is, one of the questions I ask is, give me the names of 5 people, and it's $1,000 in cash, to the names of 5 people who are the richest people on earth. And out here, Bill Gates. I go, he's very rich, but that's not what I'm looking for. Someone will say Warren Buffett. Someone will say Carlos Slim. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey's rich, but she's not even as rich as the first 3 people we mentioned. Ultimately, no one answers the question. Because again, it's conventional thinking. The rich don't think, Kooge, like people who are aspiring, or people who are middle class, or unfortunately people who are of lowest means. They have a very, very empowered and enlightened mindset. They have a holistic and complete perspective, and they have a very productive relationship with money. So that's what everybody should remember when you're protecting your assets. It's all about mindset, perspective, and relationship with money, and that's part of the Greenlight system. We look to enhance your mindset, broaden your perspective, and change your relationship with money, whatever that is. That's the only thing separating you from the people you admire or maybe even envy financially. So to protect your assets, that's where you have to start. You pretty much got to the point of the first rule of wealth creation is to protect and keep what you already have. So that's where you start, guys. If you can't protect it and keep it, if you make $250,000 a year, if we can't protect that $250,000 a year, no sense talking about $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, because unfortunately you're going to give it away. Give it away to the tax authority. You're going to give it away to creditors, vendors, clients, frivolous lawsuits, right? Can you say superstar athletes? You know, they say that men lie, women lie, but facts, figures, and numbers never lie. So let me give you a fact. Average NBA basketball player, not a LeBron James or Dwayne Wade, makes $5.15 million a year. That's average. That's a guy that's warming the bench. Fact, 70% of them will be broke even before they retire. These guys are millionaires, right? And we know that many players make a whole lot more than $5.15 million a year. Can you say movie stars? Can you say popular recording artists and other celebrities, many celebrities? These people are rich. You see, wealth creation has a lot less to do with money. So again, it goes back to your relationship with money, your perspective and your mindset. If you have the right mindset, perspective, and relationship with money, the money is going to show up at your front door in significant amounts. And so we start there. We help you protect and keep what you already have. Again, non-conventional system, non-conventional approaches, counterintuitive. You have to know, first and foremost, we're starting with getting you out of the picture. That's why we call it no personal gain. The rich don't personally gain anything. Real quick anecdote. 10 years ago, I was invited to join Donald Trump's country club up in Yorktown Heights. It's brand new, it hadn't even opened yet. And whether you like his politics or not, let me give you some facts. Now, these are inside facts. These are not things you're going to read on the paper. I will give you a place to Google. Anybody that finds this video, it's worth $250 to me. But for the last 20 years, up until recently, it's run for the presidency, a couple things. One, Donald Trump didn't even file a personal tax return. Now, he's arguably worth more than $4 billion. How is that possible? Number two, the king of real estate, up until recently, didn't own a stick of real estate. Again, these are things that should make you begin to change your perspective. So if you got a multi-billionaire, and up until recently he had to file for taxes because, you know, he's running for president, it's going to be full disclosure. He didn't have to complete a tax return because the rich aggressively avoid income. See, there's different types of money. Not all money is income. So the rich aggressively avoid income. This is why Warren Buffett can say he pays less in taxes than his secretary. Now he's talking percentage-wise, obviously, guys. This is why Bill Gates, for numerous years, while he was CEO and chairman, now he's still just chairman of Microsoft, paid himself $400,000. Bill Gates couldn't find any more money. This is a multi-billionaire. He's been a billionaire for 25 years plus, and he paid himself only $400,000. And if he could have got away with less, he would have. He had people working for him that made $5, $7, $10 million. So again, this is part of the perspective that hopefully we're going to bring out tonight, and we're going to answer questions. But I wanted to add a little more light on that.
Okay. Before I open up the floor for questions, I hope you guys are ready for this. When we talked last week, we talked about a myth. The myth was that the people that made the most money were smarter than the people that weren't. Of course, many of us in this room have been told that in order to become successful, we need to get a good education, and then we'll become successful. Could you explain that?
Okay. I love higher education, so our educators in the room, our people with PhDs in the room, don't get mad at me. My undergrad, so by trade and education, my undergrad's in electrical engineering, so I'm a tech guy to begin with. I got my master's in comp sci, computer science. So I started out, actually, Kooge kind of went into the middle of the story, but when he said I was adjunct faculty, which is true, but I started out as an engineer and moved up through the ranks as a W-2 employee in major defense contractors all around the country. I had an FBI secret security clearance. My specialty was military electronic support aircraft, B-1 bomber, B-2 bomber, and it was radar countermeasure system. So that was my specialty. So I was making $80,000 or $90,000 back in the 80s, 90s. I was in my company already. So in the 80s, I was making, well, that's pretty good money, right? Back in the 80s, that was a lot of money. But
in the old days.
In the good old days. But the problem is, or I should say the challenge or the situation is that it's not about intellect. I have seen cosmic failures of people who graduated magna cum laude with MBAs from Harvard, Yale, and all the major schools. It has nothing to do with money, or very little to do with money, guys. I have seen tremendous failures of companies that started with 10, 20, $30 million in startup cash, managed and run by brilliant people, crash and burn. The statistics you see for business fatalities is not limited by education or by how much money they got undercapitalized. So the capitalized companies, the companies that are run by very smart people, fail with the same frequency and the same statistics as the guy who barely got out of high school. Matter of fact, it seems like most of the people who do really good are what? The college dropouts, right? Right? Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, so, like, anybody getting degrees that are becoming billionaires? No, it's not. So the point I'm making is intellect, money. Should you be at least of average intellect? Absolutely. Money, should your business be capitalized? Absolutely. It's the mother's milk of business, which is one of the second solutions we offer. We're all about capital raises and acquisitions, as well as infusions of cash into businesses. Great teams, great products, marketing strategies, all those things are great. But you know what, guys? They add up at their height no more than 20% of your financial trajectory. The other 80% is contained in these hidden principles that we're getting into tonight, that I gave you a few of. We're going to get into as many as we can have time for tonight. That's 80% of your financial trajectory. So if you're at a point, you're probably at 20% of your zenith, of your highest point. I don't care how many millions of dollars you're making. Wonderful, God bless you. But you're probably not at your full potential in terms of your trajectory momentum. So intellect and all of that's important, but that's 20%. The other 80% are hidden. They're counterintuitive. And like I said, we start right off the bat with changing your mindset and perspective. That if you want to go down the road of wealth, you better have a significant relationship with an artificial person, okay? Otherwise, who are the only people that, look, let's talk about definition of income. What's the definition of income for everybody in this room? What's the definition of income? salary, or every dollar you get, right? Every dollar that touches your hot human hands is income and therefore taxable. Because only income is taxable. So now you know why the rich aggressively avoid income. That's why Donald Trump hasn't paid, wrong word, he's paid the minimum legal tax. Okay, he paid the taxes, but he paid the minimum legal tax. 5 years ago, Kooge, there was a New York Times expose. I didn't think it was so much of an expose. It was all about how the rich don't pay their fair share. Now that's not news, right? And so they went into this exhaustive piece, and the takeaway was that the rich pay little to nothing. But the emphasis was on most of the rich pay absolutely nothing. The minimum legal tax, where unfortunately a number of you in this room probably are paying the maximum legal. Okay? We're talking about protecting assets. We're talking about the tax man. And again, I always take the tax man last because it's controversial. We don't want to seem like, okay, you must pay your taxes. Don't go to the IRS or the great state of Florida and say, Terrence Cash or my friends at Greenlight said, I have to pay any taxes. Because you won't be properly quoting me. You have to pay your taxes, but you're only obligated to pay the minimum legal tax. You're going way above and beyond by paying the maximum legal tax. You're not considered to be any more patriotic, okay, by paying that fee. So it's all about the minimum legal tax. So protecting your assets, one of the major drains on your wealth is taxes, the tax authority. In his book, Ziad Abdel Noor, who was the son of a Lebanese parliament member of his family were in the parliament, Kooge. He runs a little $10 billion hedge fund out of New York. And Ziad's book, Economic Warfare, I encourage everybody to read it. You know, it's a page turner. You know, it's a little technical, but it's a page turner. They give this fictitious example to show you the illustration of how taxes will erode your wealth over time. So they have this fictitious example, it's not real life, where if a dollar doubles every day, okay, and if you got 10% interest, right, which you know we're talking about, you know, make believe, we're talking about those two things, right? So in one case, 20 years later, that would be about $1,054,000. Then you take that same investment that's doubling every day, the same interest rate on it, you're making 10% interest, but now with a modest 33% tax rate. I'd say 60 or 70% of the people in this room, between state, local, and federal, are paid north of 33%, right? You guys know, you look at your numbers and you go, ah. You know, you look at the gross, you go, wow. And you look at the net, you go, this is gonna be tough. So you go that second route and you have, after 20 years, drum roll, $28,000. A difference of $1 million. So in one case, I am a millionaire, right? In the other case, I wish I was a millionaire. I wish I knew a millionaire. Somebody help me out, okay? So just that example tells you the corrosive effects of taxes. Just on that front alone, you could fret away what considered to be $1 million fortune, right? A difference of $1 million. So we start with these concepts, these philosophies, that you have to start manipulating your financial affairs as an artificial person, as a legal person. They have all the rights, the privileges you have. They have none of the detraction, and as it relates to money, it's the only show in town. You know, it's the only show in town. So we start there.
Okay, now we're about to open up the floor. Let me make this announcement so everybody understands and is on tape. Terrence Cash is not representing himself as your lawyer or your financial advisor. His answers are going to be theoretical. Get a lawyer, get a financial advisor if you don't have it. But one of the reasons that I invited Terrence is after listening to his presentation, I realized that sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So unless somebody